Hey, welcome back to another episode from Life for Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic that I have for this week, I'd like to quickly say one or two things. If you'd like to know more about Life for Living Well community and how I put all the script together, the podcast, the article on the website, the newsletter, you can sign up on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You can sign up for the email where I send out weekly the article for the podcast and also the newsletter. And if it's something that you are interested in, so you can join and support the community by signing up to the newsletter. If you also want to see the actual article attached to this podcast, you can also find it out on our website. We normally release each article every Tuesday or on our blog, which you will find at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. So let's dive into it. So this week, the topic I have for us is what I call setting goals, the benefits. So what are the benefits of setting goals? And like we normally start this podcast is to use one inspirational individual and take with their word of wisdom when they put it into a concise way and then build around it. So this week I'm using Albert Einstein about his understanding of setting goals, and if anyone can show us more how to set goals in our own life, because many people think that they actually setting goals, but in reality they are not, because some of their goals can be grounded in a way that it becomes vague, that is not really concrete, that you can measure it with time. And so I hope by the time I finish this particular podcast, maybe one or two people may be able to get one thing or two things that they can put into their own life, and if it's help them to achieve their goal, that would be really great. And so let's see what about Einstein say about setting goals. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. So it's a question. Many people say they want to be happy, but their actions and behavior, when they take time to look at it, observe it, is this action and behavior lead them to the happiness that they want? Probably not. Someone that wanted to lose the weight, but they didn't do anything about it. They binge watching the TV, sitting down in one place, overeating unnecessarily, and using food to take care of the emotional needs, and then they end up putting so much weight. And every time they need to work out, they find a reason not to do it. So Einstein said, if you want to be happy in life, I probably think you know one thing or the others about setting goals. And but what he didn't tell us is how do we do that? So this is where this podcast is coming from, to focus on benefit of setting goals and how to do it. We might not be able to cover everything at home, but let's see how it goes and see what we can do after that. Why do many people avoid or inappropriately set goals that cannot be achieved? So these are the questions I asked myself when I was putting this podcast together. And as I was doing research more into it, I start seeing more patterns of behavior that I've seen in my own life in the past that occasionally still pop up. And I've seen in a lot of people that I've met one way or the other, maybe those people that I coach, maybe those people that I do business with, maybe those people that are relating with in families and friends. So many people entertain themselves with mental indulgence while their goals remains in their heads. If you ask someone, they have their goals in their head, what they want to achieve, what they want to make happen. But if you ask them the same thing the following week, it's already changed because our focus is so limited and challenging. So we want every 24 hours, it's like a 24-hour cycle of news. It keep coming, and it keep changing like a wind that comes from different direction because they have it in their head. They have not really put it down and look into it concretely and see what do they need to do to make this thing happen. Maybe we require them to go back to school. Maybe we require them to do evening classes to develop the skills and knowledge in the area that they wanted to achieve. And how long is it going to take them to do that when in their head they wanted to do it in 3 months? Perhaps going to evening class might take them 6 months. So the problem with this behavior, you cannot gauge or measure it because it's in their head. They themselves are not able to measure their goals, how long it's going to take them, how much will require in terms of effort and resources. Sometimes we might need to invest upfront to our goals, to our work, before we even benefit from it. Someone said something that I saw in their video clip one day, one particular, I think this week. He said that if you want to have an email list, the best time to start is when you have no one sign up for it. So you write, you have time to perfect it, and you keep sending the email list out. So while starting it when you have 1,000 people subscribed to the email list, when you have perfected the skills enough so you can benefit them, and then get back to I look at it, I listen to it, and it actually makes sense. And it's a simple thing, it actually makes sense, but many people will not do it when it's zero because they don't see the effort that they have to put and no return. But actually what he's saying is investing up front, perfecting their skills, and learn from those mistakes you would have made and corrected it before you even have people sign up for it. The same thing with us as well. Before the opportunity comes, make yourself available that you have the resources to take it and to do it. This opportunity will come. And if you are not prepared for it, you probably miss it. Abraham Lincoln once said, I shall study and prepare, and one day my chance will come. He didn't say, when my chance comes, then I will go and study and prepare. Sometimes you need to make upfront investment, and upfront investment may require time, may require resources, may require money, may require talking to people, may require serving the people, may require becoming an apprentice, may require many things. But are you willing to do that? So when we have our goals in our head, one of the challenges is that you cannot measure this goal. You cannot know whether this goal is achievable or not. You just know, I want to do certification exam. What certification exam? Why you are doing it? How long is it going to take you? What do you need to do to pass? And if you pass, what is your intentions about it? So, can we manifest an invisible goal to become feasible without first conceiving it as an idea through visualization or writing it down? So, many of the goals that individuals achieve in their life is the goal that they actually can conceive in their mind. Because sometimes we underestimate our mind a lot, and our mind creates our reality whether we like it or not. The way you think, what you think, you manifest it. You become what you think, like Nebuchadnezzar says. There's no one greater than their thinking. So one of the goals we do, is we enforce and facilitate this thinking in a way that when we see what we write down, we can visualize it, we can conceive it, we can believe it, we can think about it, and then we will take action. We'll do something to make it happen. So in addition, it is practically impossible to measure any of our goals with time scale when it wasn't written down. Specific in what we want to achieve. For a goal to be concrete, tangible, acceptable, achievable, and supportive of our wider goal, it has to be measurable, contextual, and achievable in a way it is defined. So, in reality, writing goals down and define those goals step by step, what it takes to make it happen, will really help us where we already have strength, where we need to get to develop, to evolve, and also allow us to become more real and truthful to ourselves. Sometimes you could say, I want to triple my income. That what I earn in a month, I want to triple it. The reality is that you will not triple it by the same amount of hour, the same amount of service that you're already providing to your current role. And then you have to be specific amount that you want to make. If you make $1,000 monthly, you might say, I want to triple it, so I want to make $3,000. You specify. But the current role you're doing, maybe you're a student, you're doing limited hours of work, and you only earn $1,000 from that role. And you know that there's no way you're going to increase the amount of hours that you're doing that work, because that particular role does not allow you to increase the hour that you put into it, because it shows that you can only work certain time to certain time, and you can only work to 1 or 2 days in a week. So what will change is that you begin to have open mind, creativity to find means for your income to come. So this is the area where you develop a multiple source of incomes, that it doesn't really need to come from one place, and you do not need to work 24 hours to make it happen. And then you won't worry how this thing happen anymore, but your mind will begin to take control. Our mind is like a land, soil where you plant a seed. All we need to do is to create our mind ready for it. And the only way you do that, in my experience, is to write your goals down and be specific about the goals that you wanted to achieve. Many years ago, few years ago, I was single, and I was ready to work so much on myself that I've understood relationship in a certain way. So I write the quality of the person I wanted to attract into my life. I wrote specifically each one of the character that I wanted to achieve to my life, and I put it on the wall. I say this thing every morning before I leave home for work and before I go to bed. It didn't happen, probably maybe happen for me in 4 years. It didn't happen that particular year. It did, but what happened that happened for the period of 4 years before it happened is I met so much people that I was so truthful to myself, because those qualities that I was looking for potential partner is the quality that I was working and developing in myself. And there's no way to say, oh, I like someone that prioritizes well-being, eating well, being respectful of themselves, and you don't have that. So how do you know when you meet somebody that have that? Because you don't know what it looks like. But that's what a lot of people do. They set goals that is contrary to their own nature. And even though you have the opportunity to do the same thing, but you expect other people to do it. In life, human beings can be favored, can practice favoritism, but the nature do not favor. You get what you sow. If you sow bitterness, you definitely will get bitterness in return. It might not look like that at this stage, but you cannot escape it. So what I'm trying to say is that at that period of time, I meet so many people. Most of these people are really good people, but when I look into their quality of life, how they live their life, where they are in their life, where I am, where I want to be, it's so contrasting to the goal that I've written down. And sometimes I have people saying, oh, your standard is too high, you're too perfectionist. And I was questioned that is it true? But deep down, inner side, I did not convince that was the case. It just means that the environment that I was focused my attention on does not contain this kind of quality that I was looking for. But I was open-minded about it. When things come, I say, oh, have you spoken to this person? Give it a try. And I try. And the quality is not match what the goal that I set. And if I try to downplay that goal, I will undermine myself. And I couldn't find myself to do that. I was so happy to enjoy my own journey alone and just live my life, experience things, and do things that I really, really love. And then it happened. So what I'm trying to say, you can use setting goals to same things as basic as having a relationship, or you can setting goals to your business, you can setting goals to your habit, you can setting goals in losing weight, you can setting goals in having more friends, you can setting goals in travel more, you can setting goals in everything. That's why by Einstein come to the conclusion that if you want to be happy in life, you can choose to set goals. Or the alternative is that you just go with the flow. But if you truly want to be happy in life, you got to learn how to set goals. So many people miss this point and actually choose in setting goals. So how did this happen? What do you need to do to set goals? Confucius stated 3 ways of developing wisdom. The easiest of the 3 is to mirror our behavior and action to an individual that already possesses the virtues. So what is this last signal is that look around you, observe other people. They don't better than you are. But if you just mirror their behavior to yourself, you begin to see changes in your own life in the way that you want to see it. So writing your goals down in a visible paper will create inner motivation, and you will be encouraged to seek resources to make it happen. This is one of the reasons you are encouraged to practice acclamation daily to open your heart and improve your belief to take action. However, it is very difficult to take action when the heart is closed. And the only way your heart will be open eventually is when you see what you write down and you begin to tailor it to your mind. Then your mind will begin to open. A person that never thought about ingredient to buy in the shop yesterday We never go to the shop next morning and buy that ingredient and prepare the meal. It doesn't work that way. So the same thing is our mind. If our mind cannot say it, cannot believe it, cannot accept it, we can never take action about it. So if you say that you put something in your mind and every time you're on the road, you begin to say that thing all the time. Let's say you are thinking about buying a bus, a particular bus or van or truck. What will happen to you at that moment? Just pay attention to it. Every time you go on the road, you begin to see similar of that truck everywhere. But they're always there, but you never notice them because it's never come to your conscious level to think about it. So what you think about, you become. And these are the ancient wisdom that the different motivators, different teachers have enriching our life with for generation upon generation. I'm not just the one that just come up with it. So many teachers that already passed this world have tried so much to teach us this, to open our heart to it. So let's look at some of the benefits associated with this kind of behavior in the next. So benefit of writing down your goals. What will bring down to you? Clarity. The first step in setting a goal is the clarity of our goal. This is not the point where you be vague about it. I want a house. What do you mean you want a house? You ask somebody to write a goal down and they say, I want money. That is so vague. I could come and just give you $1. I could come and give you $100. You need to be specific and being precise how much of money you need. And be honest with yourself how that money will do to your life. Because to whom much is given, much is expected. If you just create a small benefit, you will get return of small return. So the proportion of the service that you render will determine the amount of benefit that will come back to you to it. Just look around you. Why do we have the richest person in the world? See what they are doing. Just see what they are doing, and you will understand it. So clarity. The first step in setting a goal is the clarity of our goal. People set vague goals, such as, I want a lot of money. This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because a lot of money could be $100, could be $50, could be $20. So, I want to marry. And then you marry, and then you are not happy, or you are so opposite of each other, or you just bring sadness to each other's life. Be specific. You work on yourself, you know yourself, you know what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, what kind of person you want to marry, or what kind of relationship you want to engage if you don't want to be married. So what kind of job or people that you want to work with. Be specific. So you may end up having those things and end up unhappy because your goal lacks clarity. When you have clarity, you will be able to say no to things that seem enticing on the surface but void of growth and progress you seek. So in order to know the difference, you have to firstly be clear what you want, what that goals means. Because if you don't care, you'll be able to fall into things that you didn't really need. Number 2, challenge. No doubt about it, your goal will open the door to challenge, either to create a connection to work with others while you prefer working in your own corner. Number 3, commitment. Nothing brings you closer in achieving your goal than commitment to it. So because you can say it when you wake up in the morning, if it only means just make a phone call to someone to help you, you will do it. You will do it because the motivation to do that will just come. You will know. So that's why you shouldn't worry too much how the goals will be happen, because with the resources you are, with the connection you are, with the knowledge you are, you don't have enough to make it happen. So that's why you shouldn't worry about that. So what you should worry about is to set that goals down and be clear about it. And then you begin to do what you need to do to make it happen. So feedback, what about that? The awareness you will develop will transcend to other parts of your life. You don't know how strong or how weak you are. The situation like this will expose you, take you to so many places that you never thought that you are capable of being. And lastly, task complexity. You may feel like you get stuck and bored. The challenge is how you navigate this stage and creating paths that manifest your goal. So I'll bring this to the end because I'm already a few minutes late to the podcast. So in the next coming weeks, I will be discussing how we can utilize these benefits that are listed above. So in the next series, I will be looking into it in more details over the coming few weeks. Please stay tuned because it's going to take a lot of time for the podcast like this to cover all these benefits that I liked it. But I think it's better to just pick on it one at a time and go through it. So he actually really put a practical help on the table for us to do. And so next one, I'll probably suggested some few books that me myself have read. And if you haven't read it, so I will suggest that you give it a try and it may really help you as well. So until we meet again next week, please stay safe and have a wonderful week ahead. Ciao.